Hello guys, it's time for part 5 of Breakout. I got a bunch of stuff here that I ordered to complete this board. This should complete it, so let's jump right into it and start putting some chips in this board. First thing I'm going to do, those 9602 chips, there are 4 on the board and I've already removed 3. I'm going to remove and replace the 4th one too. I don't care if it even looks good. I'm just going to replace it. So let's do it. Alright guys, believe it or not, I think Breakout board is complete. It's now fully populated. I got this guy, that one, that one, and that one. Those were the remaining empty spots. So I'm kind of anxious. Let's plug this thing in and see what it does. See if we get sound. So let's do it. I'll be right back. Alright, we are hooked up, plugged in, and check this thing out, how good it looks. Remember this nonsense that was up here, like double? Now we've actually got counts. It says 2 and 4, whatever that means. And you got an 8 right here. I don't know what all that means. But it's looking good. Let's coin this thing up. Okay. Okay, coins are in it. And start. Alright, now we're going. And here's the serve button. Let me restart it again. Serve. I'm not getting any sound. I don't know if the pot's any good or I don't know. I'm going to have to do a little investigation. I'll be back. Let me investigate some things a little bit. Okay, so naturally, I've jumped a 380 LM380 over the sound amp. And I will try to coin up, start, serve, and try to do this. So the sound amp is dead. So I'll have to replace that guy. And I'm going to look into the circuitry because there's supposed to, the ball is supposed to start out slower. So I think there's something wrong with the circuitry that for the starting of the game or whatever. I'm going to do some research and see if I can figure that out. Because I'm pretty sure it's supposed to start a lot slower than it is. So I'll be back. We'll look into that. Okay, I've just been kind of poking around a little bit, and since I put some new chips in it, and especially this guy right here, which remember had a bunch of signals on it, had about 5 outputs or something like that, 6 outputs going around and feeding parts to the board. So I decided to just go poking around a little bit more on old chips, and I came across this counter. I don't even know what this does in the game, but there's no clock. It's just low, so it's not counting. The input bits are all low. They're almost kind of floating. The enables are enabled, there's no load, but there's no clear. It's not cleared, but it's not counting either. There's no clock, but the carry bit is stuck high. That carry bit should not be high like that. So this thing is no good. I don't know what it does, but all the counts are at 1, and all the inputs are at zeros. There's no count. Carry is stuck high, so that thing's no good. That's a 161 counter. I'm gonna replace that. I'm gonna pull that out and get rid of that. And that'll do. I kind of want to look this up on the schematic too and find out what it does. This counter right here. That is what, B4. So let's do that. I'm gonna look up B4. I'm gonna replace it, look it up, and see exactly what it's doing. Look at that carry bit. This carry bit's stuck high. It should be low. So I want to see what clocks it, what event clocks this thing, and what happens. Just curious. But regardless, it's no good. So here's another one. Alright, I got the desoldering gun out to take the sound amp out. And I got the sound amp out. And I didn't stop there. I kind of went a little nuts. I removed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I removed 11 more chips. This row. Couple here, and here, and here. Yeah. I just kind of got carried away. I'm like, you know what? Why not? So I'm going to go through and throw these into the IC tester and see what it says. Got any of these things that are bad or what? All right, so we're back fired up again. And one thing I noticed right off the bat that's different is the 1 and the 1. That's for one player, and that's for first ball. Now, I don't know about this 010 and 070. Maybe that's the score. That should zero out once the game starts. So, I'm going to... Well, let's go ahead and coin this thing up. See what happens. Do a start. And it did go to zeros. And a serve. And where is the... I gotta get the paddle. Try to serve again. And it's nice and slow now. How it should be. I can't go up all the way. That ain't right. Ah. Hey! So it did count right. I was not keeping track of the score, but 0 credits, 4th ball, I think. I don't know. I didn't really pay attention. I was more concerned about the fact that the paddle wouldn't go all the way to the top. So it's way better than it was, though. We got sound. It's cool. So I got to investigate the paddle. Why the paddle stops at the end there. That ain't right. So that's the next thing to look at. But good improvement. All right, we'll be back. All right, well, I went through the good schematic on my computer and wrote down every gate, every chip that is used in the paddle circuitry right here. And you see J204, which is this guy right here. I was really not wanting to mess with this because of all this, you know, stuff done to it, and I really didn't want to mess with that junk. But I'm going to have to just bite the bullet and replace these parts right here. I'm going to replace these 4 guys. Yeah. Just get it done. Alright, I'll be back. Okay, well, I figured out the paddle. If you look up here on this schematic, you'll see it's a 5K pot, and you got 5 volts. I had ground running to the pot too. And then I got to looking at this closer, and I was like, well, they don't have, so this is just a loop. There's no ground reference. And this 4016, I read somewhere that 4066 was an upgrade. So I put a 4066 back in the board. That's originally what was in it when I got it. So I put a 4066 in, and I snipped the ground. And now you'll see it is all the way up to the edge smooth, all the way down to the other edge smooth. So that was it. It was just needed a 4066, and I needed to just cut the ground. See, I cut my ground here. And that was it. So now that's working right. The only thing that's really kind of funky with this thing is I think it's supposed to, when you turn it on, it's supposed to come up with no bricks, and it's supposed to be in attract mode. I'll show you what it does when you turn it on. You turn it off. Now I'll turn it on. It just comes right up to this screen. And I think the bricks are supposed to be gone, and the ball is supposed to be just bouncing around, I think is what is supposed to happen. I'm not 100% sure of that, though. I think I'll need to look this up on YouTube, this game itself. Not an emulation or nothing. I need to look at the real game. Or if somebody knows, could you chime in? But the ball went from being slow to it's way too fast now again. I don't know what is going on there. I'll coin up and I'll start and watch the serve. Fastball. I'll try it again. Fastball coming up. Ah. Come on. Yeah, I moved away from it. I keep moving away from it. I mean, it's really close. It's almost good. Just a couple things to figure out, and it will be done soon. Okay guys, I have been pulling my hair out over the fastball, And I think I have found the issue. This chip right here has an input on it that just looks super funky. And I think this chip, this old chip right here, is screwing it up and making it bad, I believe is what's going on. I kind of want to look at... Let me hook this thing up. I'll be right back. Okay, I got you focused in on that. I'm going to show you this signal I'm talking about. It's on that 08. That's it right there. It is pin 4 of A4. Pin 4 of A4 is goofy. I'm just kind of messing around with that signal right now. I kind of want to play around with this a little bit. Yeah, come on. See, now the ball is going slow because I've been messing around with it. I want to show you. I've just been shorting around on that thing and the ball was going slow. It's starting to speed up now. Long story short, I'm going to replace this guy, and while I'm at it, I'm going to replace this old 00 and go from there. Alright, I'm going to play a game and you'll see that the score does not count correctly. Start a game. And go. And it's still super fastball. And you see I hit a brick, but it didn't count a score for me. So it's gone nothing, 2, nothing, 4, nothing, 8. Nothing, 2, nothing, 6. So it looks like it's going 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8. You know, it's got a stuck bit basically. So those 160 counters are no good. The score, I have noticed that the scoring is kept in these counters right here. This is player 1 score, this is player 2 score, and I've already replaced one of the 160s. I'm going to go ahead and replace the rest of the 160s. At least get the scoring right. And then got to figure out old fastball. Maybe that will affect the fastball. Who knows? I hope so. Let's go ahead and replace these guys. I'm just going to replace them all. I'm not even going to test which one's bad. We're just going to replace every one of them. Alright guys, I replaced those 160s up here, and I had the exact same issue. And if you look at the schematic, which let me find the right one, and this is a big deal. These are those 160s, and they output all of these score bits, A1, B1, all the way down, you know, E, F, G, H1. All of those score bits come down and are multiplexed through these damn things, these 9312s, which, remember, I was like, boy, I hope those aren't bad. All of those score bits go into those guys, and then that is whatever this 48 chip is, remember I bought, and outputs all of these, which does all of this business. Horizontal, you got vertical, and it feeds down through this 55, feeds into this circuitry, which comes off of all of this, and that makes I believe all of this circuitry and stuff has stuff to do with the, I know it does, with the ball speed and stuff like that, because it goes based on how many bricks you hit and your score and stuff like that. So I have removed all of these guys out of the board. There's 6 of them. Those 9312s. And I found a source for those 9312s. It is a basically a closeout house, electronics superstore type deal. And I was able to source those chips. So that is what I'm doing now, is I'm just waiting for those chips to come. And we'll pick back up. I just ordered the chips, so it's going to take a little bit before we get back to this guy. And in the meantime, I've got a couple of things I can get to. I got a battle zone that I can get to. Something else just came in. I'm not even sure what it is. And I got a couple more things in the wait. So we're going to put this one on hold again, guys. So I was hoping that I could just finish this thing with this part of the video, but I am going to have to stop and upload this as part 5, unfortunately. And part 6 will be when those chips get here. So we'll see you then.